So
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Emmaus Borough Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, I did.
Right. At this time, we have personal appeals part 1. If you have a personal appeal, approach the podium, state your name and where you're from, and you have 5 minutes for your appeal. You have an appeal? You're the only one here, so nobody online. So that takes us to community minute. Does anybody have a community minute to bring forward?
No, I wouldn't. So just thank you to everybody who came out for Farewell Summer, Harvest Festival, and the Heritage Festival. I've gotten some prelim numbers, and it's probably the busiest that a summer activity has been downtown. So we appreciate everybody coming out, the council members who were floating around. Dumpster Day was also great, but I'm sure Chad will talk a little bit more about that in his report. So yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any reports on Harvest Fest? Anybody get to make it there?
Yeah.
Yep. Good turnout?
It's great turnout.
Good.
Great event too. They had 40 vendors. I think it was well attended.
The shuttle that was going around all of the sites really enhanced that. And then they had the carriage was also there, the horse and buggy. So that was really great. And they had a lot of hands-on activities, just like they did at Farewell Summer. So it was truly nice because it was both ends of town in that respect with Triangle. And,
yeah, that shuttle makes a difference.
Yes.
I just want to add to, I go by there often because of the community garden and also running up there. And it always seems to be somebody working on that property, and they put some mulch down and reseeded it, and it's just looking really nice. The grass is growing where it never grew before, and it's just looking really nice. It really is. The ramp going up into the barn, they reseeded all that, and they're doing a lot of work there. So anybody else with a community minute to bring forward? Hearing none, we have the minutes from September 5th, 2023. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgardner. Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There are 7 ayes. We have no decisions on bids under communications. We have an application for the Emmaus Arts Commission, and it's Rachel Peters, and that will go to, we'll send that to CRD, set it up for an interview.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like she's going to be a nice addition. So Canals Homestead is also adding another event, Harvest Vet Fest, on October 21st. It's a new event. And because we're short on time, I'm going to see, we can vote on that tonight, right?
Yeah, I think Mrs. McManaman has some information on that.
So this is a new chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution that is creating a chapter between Macungie Historical Society and the Canals Homestead. And they would like to have this event. There are questions that I had spoken to Gene Clock about. So if it goes to CRD, we can have him answer some of those questions, but everything else, if others had taken a look, I had like 4 or 5 questions. So
can we do it, approve it contingent upon approval of the committee?
So that would be my recommendation, just because of the timing. Otherwise, you know, they're going to try to have an event on the 21st, and you're not even going to vote on it until the 5th, which is going to be hard to market. So yeah. I would recommend doing something like that.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the event contingent upon the committee getting all their questions
When you say the
answered?
committee, you mean the CRD committee?
Correct.
So moved.
Thank you. Councilwoman McManaman, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any discussion or questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Does anyone else have a communication to bring forward? All right, hearing none. We have no borough engineers report, solicitors report.
No report, progress.
Thank you. We have unfinished business part 1. ordinance 1247. We had the first reading August 21st, and tonight is our second reading. Ordinance 1247, an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 15, subsection 602.3.a of the Emmaus Borough Code, adding residential disabled parking sign and signing permitted parking space on a public street located in front of the address of 629 Walnut Street within the Borough of Emmaus. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve ordinance 1247 for second reading? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Any questions or discussion? It's pretty straightforward. It's a roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner.
Aye.
Councilman Anders.
Aye.
Councilman Balliet.
Aye.
Councilman Hart.
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne.
Aye.
Councilman Layberg. Aye. There are 7 ayes. Ordinance 1247 passes on second reading. New business, unfinished business part 2. We have nothing. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda or bring up that's not on the agenda? Hearing none. Madam Mayor's report.
Thank you. On your iPads this evening is Proclamation 2023-569 in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October of 2023. With that, I'll report progress.
Public Works still have the option of wearing pink shirts. Do they do that?
Yeah, so it's town hall. Yep, on Fridays.
And town hall on Fridays. Cool.
And I believe the fire department has shirts too.
Good. All right, committee reports. Public Works Committee Chairman Anders.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, September 20th. I do report that may be tentative as I have an obligation. I will follow up with Shane tomorrow if we may need to cancel or reschedule. With that, I'll report progress.
We can have a meeting without you, can't we?
Yes, you may.
Very quickly.
All right. Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee Chairman Balliet.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing for official action tonight, but I would report that our dumpster day event was extremely successful. We had about 300 residents come out and brought stuff. Along with that, they were given a flyer that lets them know our hazardous waste day is October 21st. And I think that the event went perfect. I'd like to, thank all the borough staff that came out and everything like that, and then all the whitetail workers that were there. Went really well. Short of one of their trash trucks breaking down shortly on arrival, I still think that it went really well, and they got another one out pretty quick, and it was great. So with that, I'll report progress, and our next meeting is going to be September 27th at 4:45. Progress.
Thank you. Great. My neighbor had it like a metal cabinet. Did they have a section just for
Scrap metal?
Yeah,
for sure.
I thought we did.
Yep.
So I sent her to the right place.
No, everything got tires, electronics, air conditioners,
Sectioned out. Okay.
Everything was sectioned out.
Awesome. All right, Parks and Recreation Committee Chairwoman Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no items for official action. Our next meeting will be October 3rd at 4:45 p.m. via Zoom. Report progress.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chairman Hart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. No further business before the body this evening. Our next scheduled meeting is September 28th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. And with that, I report progress.
Thank you. General Administration is myself. We have the purchase of the parking lot, which is downtown, which we are currently leasing, and maybe it's almost 2 months now that we've been renting out parking spaces. So I'm going to turn it over to the solicitor, kind of give us a little info on it and the purchase price, and we'll put it in a motion.
So you do have the agreements attached to your agenda. I would point out there is one error that was pointed out. Mr. Dufresne and Mr. Pepe caught it in the original draft. It still has the mayor signing it. It has been changed to Mr. Labenberg. Beyond that, the purchase price is listed within the agreement. There's a red line version and a second version. If you have any questions, purchase price is $476,000, of which $76,000 is going to be used to buy out the lease. There's a second standalone agreement for the termination of the lease, in which that $76,000 will be applied. So this will terminate the leasing contract with that entity, and it will then simply be a purchase agreement, which will be subject to financing. I think Mr. Dufresne has some information on that. But beyond that, if you have any questions, please let me know.
And is there any particular order?
You can do it in either order.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion to purchase parking lot?
The purchase price for the lot is 400,000.
And the buyout being 76.
And the buyout of the lease is 76.
Okay.
They are two different items you have to be aware of.
Councilman Hart, motion, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any questions on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. And then we have the to terminate the lease agreement. Since we now own it, we're not leasing. So would somebody like to make a motion to terminate the lease agreement? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Balliet. Any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Our next meeting is this Thursday at 9 a.m. And I report progress. Budget and Finance Committee Chairman Dufresne.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we have a few items in our packet tonight here. The pension policy statement, we have to approve that, Shane, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, from looking through it, it's a relatively standard investment policy. So I'll put that in the form of a motion to adopt the pension.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Hart. Any discussion? I'll just point out it just states certain things like we're not going to invest in high risk items, stuff like that, and the ratio of different investments that we're going to do. So it's just, it lays out a basic plan.
So it's mandatory to adopt a new investment policy because you changed investment firms. So the law requires us to have an investment policy adopted with them.
All right. Any more questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
So we have in the packet, we have the 2023 minimum municipal obligation, the MMO. So the MMO for 2024 for the police department is going to be $654,593.02. And for the employees, it's going to be $284,806.79. So I'll put that in the form of a motion, correct? We have to do that or not?
Correct. And there's a misprint on your thing. It's not the 2023 MMO. It's the 2024. Okay. Just want to make sure that we have that official in the minutes.
So that's the 2024 MMO.
You place that in the form of a motion.
Yep.
All right. There's a motion to approve the 2024 minimum municipal obligation. Is there a second? Councilman Hart. Any questions on this?
The only thing I would add then is just so we have comparison here. So 2024 for the police is up about $133,000, and for the employees it's up about $40,000.
So combined about 173.
Yeah.
With that said,
yes,
you decided to fund it more in 2023. So if you only do the MMO next year, you're actually about $200,000 less than what you funded the pensions this year. So while the MMO goes up, the actual investment could potentially go down.
Mm-hmm.
And that money had a year to work too, which will help us too.
Correct. Well, it definitely helped us offset the increase of what that MMO would have been on the employee side.
Yep. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
All right. Next we have you can see the bill list in here, resolution 2023-25, resolved by Borough Council to authorize the payment of the September 18th, 2023 bill list as follows. Bill list $214,053.12. Payroll number 18, $182,682.97. Payroll taxes, $56,970.28 for a total of $453,706.37 done the 18th of September 2023, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne. Is there a second? Councilman Hart. Any questions on the bill list? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
You can see the significant revenue and expenses for the first half of September in your packet. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 21st at 11 a.m. via Zoom, and I report progress.
Thank you. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairwoman McManaman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is Monday, September 25th at 4:30 via Zoom. I report progress.
Thank you. Under boards and commissions, we only have the 1803 House minutes, and they also have a treasurer's report. Personal appeals part 2. An appeal again? No appeal. Nobody online, so that leaves us to borough manager's report.
So as you know, your last council meeting was our first day in the building. We've now been in here for a couple weeks. Things are still going well. It's still adjusting as well. We had a construction meeting today, which I'll get into detail at the Gen Ad meeting coming up. It looks like the fire department administration team will be moving out of 420 South 10th on September 25th, and it'll probably be a couple weeks after that before the entire department moves. I know that they wanted to have an open house on October 14th, I believe it was. I'm not sure what the status of that'll be. I will let you know as soon as possible on that. But there's some last minute things that they're trying to finish before we move the entire department in. Other than that, I will report progress.
Mr. President, I guess I forgot to also say and thank everyone about the borough picnic that was on Friday. I think that was a very well attended event, and the food was great.
Thank you. As always. All right. Under President's business, I have nothing, but we do have an executive session for crossing guards that involves personnel and contracts and legal advice. Yeah. With any action to be taken?
There won't be any action tonight.
All right. So with no action to be taken, so we will go into executive session at 6:17, and we'll allow the press to ask questions now. They will jump. All right, we're reconvening at 6:44 from executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn? Councilman Anders, Councilman Hart seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned at 6:44.